Sports animes are all about the boom, the bam, the paching. But would you believe if I told you that one of the best sports anime is a Go board? Scared me.
Yeah, Go kinda came, huh?
We'll keep that in. I'm Minty. I'm here to tell you about one of the greatest, most underrated series of Shonen Jump ever.
And I'm Annie, and I'm here to tell you sports animes aren't my forte, but I like Hikaru no Go, so that's how good it is. And this is FunUntitled, where every episode we serve with an F-U.
Still wrong.
That's a t-shirt. It's just a really wrong iteration of our logo, and then on the back it's like, that's wrong.
I like how you always say like Annie, like, and I'm Annie Oakley. Yeehaw!
I can only do southern accents. Fun tip, y'all, before we get into Hikaru no Go that's filled with spoilers. I am very tone deaf, and when you're tone deaf, you don't understand how accents work.
Anyways, so again, we're going over Hikaru no Go, going over the whole manga and anime. It was a real quick run through, just because I'm sure none of you really know about this series, and if you do, good for you. Could have told me earlier how great this was.
Speaking of racist accents, the anime dub does some racist Asian accents. Like, I could not believe.
Well, I wonder what would have happened if they brought more Korean players. Although they actually gave that one Korean boy a racist accent.
So, Hikaru no Go is written by some guy who likes Go, but the artist was the artist of Death Note.
It's amazing, because the beginning does not look like Death Note, but by the end, it's like, oh, okay, I definitely see it. So, Hikaru no Go is about a boy named Hikaru Shindo, and he found an old Go board in his old man's attic, because he was trying to get money and he was trying to sell things. Really bad kid. But, unbeknownst to him, the Go board that he was gonna sell was haunted by the old spirit Fujiwara no Sai, who has been haunting the Go board because he threw himself into the river when he was framed for cheating a Go board game. And so now,
there's a dozen fan fictions of Hikaru throwing himself in the river.
Shut up! I tell you one thing, you can't let it go. And so now, Sai has attached himself to Hikaru, and has asked Hikaru to play Go for him in the modern world. And because of this, Hikaru ends up playing a game with Akira Toya, not knowing that Toya is actually a prodigy of the game Go. And this has sparked Hikaru's interest in the game of Go and Sai's journey to play the divine move. Not sure what that means, but they never go over it.
I feel like the series must have gotten cancelled if you didn't end it with the divine move.
Well, okay, so Minty has read the whole manga.
Annie.
Minty has read the whole manga. Annie has only seen the anime. And of course, Minty watched with them.
And we did not watch Chinese drama.
One day, maybe. People say it's good. And it came out last year.
Suck my nuts. Think you can do a VR experience where you play against Sai, and then Sai gets distracted with a bicycle in the background?
Oh, that'd be funny. But, okay, so obviously, I think this series is surprisingly really good, because I knew the premise when I went in, and I just thought it was gonna be some kind of Yugi Yami bullcrap from Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was just gonna be like, oh, Hikaru's just gonna become the best by using this spirit, and that's it. But this series is so much better. I mean, it's honestly more realistic than it gives off. Despite having this fantasy element, it's literally very realistic characters. It shows you the progress of what a character has to go through to become a pro, and it's fantastic.
Look, y'all, I do not like sports anime. Not a single one I really like except for Haikyuu and Kuroko no Basket. And even Kuroko no Basket, I'm I don't know how much I'm learning about basketball here. But I think something that might have helped me get more into Hikaru no Go, the whole structure of it makes sense, like Minty was saying, but I didn't know how to play the game Go. So every time they had those montage of them playing Go, but you don't really get to see anything other than them being speed racer,
Yeah.
So I was I don't understand anything. I'm just waiting for the end to see who won. The whole series, it's leading up to Hikaru versus Akira, and I don't even really get to see any of it because you can't make the game Go exciting.
To be fair though, the manga does teach you how to play Go.
Oh.
But just the basics really. But I think Hikaru no Go, it's mainly about the journey, the transformation, the coming of age things. Cause something in the manga, all you see is tat 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 tat. At least in the anime, it's just 1 second, done. But I think that's why Haikyuu is revolutionary though, because they really teach you what volleyball is.
I think another thing is that I really got into so I'm dumb. I'll just admit that. I'm not your average sports fan who can consume media really easily. I need Kuroko no Basket to hold my hand and be like, see this guy? He's great. He can throw a ball, half the court. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. When Hikaru no goes like, just trust us, they're good. It's like, but I don't, I don't know if you're a super aggressive player. I don't know if you're a super defensive player. Like,
oh yeah, they don't do those kind of, it's a drama of like, what does Hikaru want? How does he have to do it? And like what he has to give up to obtain a goal.
To be fair, I think we watched the anime Monster and I really didn't like it because I thought it was a crime show mystery, but it turned out to be a thriller drama and I was like, no, not for me. But let's get into like the plot, like how Hikaru goes from dud to hero.
Okay, so there are 10 arcs. So the first arc is the beginning arc. That's basically Hikaru learning Go and learning about his love interest Akira Toya. No, and Akari, kind of. So that's the beginning arcs.
Don't tease people as if Hikaru's gonna be important.
Hikaru?
Not Hikaru, sorry, I meant his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, Akari.
Yeah.
I know, the names are very similar. It is interesting because also, this show makes you think that it's all about Sai getting the divine move, and he's using Hikaru to do it. But in actuality, the main plot of this series is Hikaru versus Akira. So Hikaru is this 11-year-old boy, and he's extremely obnoxious. He's just like, I'll do what I want, okay? I have very short-sighted goals, but I don't know, part of me likes that because it's so just realistic. Like this show does not have cheap drama. It's not like, oh, you just weren't being stupid or, oh, it's just forced. Like, I felt like everything was very organic, and that's one of the things I really do love about Hikaru no Go. It's like how organic all the plots and solutions come. Well, it's a little forced. Hikaru's growth was super fast, and everyone has commented on that, but there's still the part that there's a spirit inhabiting him. Then we go into the Go Middle School tournament arc. This is when Hikaru really gets into like competitive Go playing, and
this is kind of like the part where, so before in the beginning arc, it was all about him putting down pieces where Sai tells him, but in the Go Middle School arc, it's Hikaru learning Go.
Yeah, I love that he's like actually gaining like an actual interest, and you can kind of see why he's getting this interest. He's seeing like these other players be all cool, and he's like, oh, okay, I want to be cool like that too, and I'm in this weird situation where I can get there faster than most people. And then we have the Internet Go arc, and this is when it's like, when they kind of bring society into the story. Because the Internet Go arc is basically, Hikaru has been playing a lot of Go on his own, doesn't let Sai play, but he's like, oh, I can play on the internet, it's anonymous, and then Sai, you can play as much as you want, and he lets Sai play as much as you want during the summer break. And then the whole world is going crazy over who the Sai character is, because that's Hikaru's name on the internet, Sai. Because the whole part of like China and Korea being big Go players does play a role in the story overall. Then Hikaru's like, okay, I'm doing this. He goes, I'm gonna give up everything to become a pro and defeat Akira Toya. Which is basically he gives up the Go club, but that's a big thing too because he worked really hard to get this club going and it caused some conflict with like the other members. But this is when he becomes an Insei. And the Insei arc and the pro exam arc is my favorite two arcs.
You want to explain what an Insei is?
Right, an Insei, and apparently this is in Korea, China, and Japan. Although this is early 90s. That's why I would love to see a modern Hikaru no Go, just to see what the modern path is for
a Go player.
Yeah, for a professional Go player. Because the manga does state in some of it like, oh, like this is no longer in modern Go. But Insei is someone who basically goes to this school with other students who want to become professional Go players. They play Go, they analyze their own games. They have someone mentoring them, but I don't think they're a pro. I think it's just someone to watch them. And it's literally just them who are dedicated to become professional Go players, and they meet once a week. Like church.
And you get to go into this school and you get to see how dedicated these people are to become professional Go players. Like, almost every day they're playing Go because there's another character named Waya that kind of helps Hikaru because Hikaru literally does not know anything about professional Go. So Waya's kind of helping guide him, and Waya has his own study group with an actual professional Go player.
Oh, Waya is my favorite character. He's kind of like the another annoying kid, not as annoying as Hikaru, but he's cute. He's just like, he bridges the world for Hikaru, like you said. And I love how much he helps Hikaru, because he's just like that good of a friend. Because when, in the pro exam arc, there's a qualifier round, so it's like, you have to qualify to get into the real protest, and Hikaru is like, oh man, I can't do this. There's adults playing in this game, and adults are just, cause he's like 13, 14 at this time, so he's intimidated by adults, like, it's like over 30, no, he can't be over 30, cause then he can't do the pro exam. And then Waya and Izumi is just like, oh, we'll like help you to get over this fear, because you're a really good player, and you shouldn't have to like, have this as a hang-up. So they go to like ghost salons, and they have Hikaru practice playing against other adults, and he's like really jiving with this, and he's like going to the ghost salons on his own. There's that one scene where this other insane kid is like, why'd you do that? That's stupid. You just helped your opponent. And Waya Izumi's like, are we stupid? Or if we don't pass, we're stupid. Which Izumi doesn't pass, and oh my god, the pro exam arc I fucking love. Because it's basically the 30 people get into the pro exam, they do a round robin where they play every other competitor, and then whoever has the best scores, the top 3, gets to become professional Go players.
Now, there's a lot at stake here because you get to see like chapters and episodes of Hikaru bonding with his insane homies, and now he has to compete with all of them. And the fact that only 3 of them can become pros, he's about to crush a lot of those dreams.
Oh yeah, they go over how like Waya would get kicked out of his study group. I don't think seriously, but he was threatened that he'd get kicked out. Izumi is like, I don't know if I can become an insane if I'm not gonna become pro. You see a lot of the adults say how much they had to give up to try to become a professional Go player. Like they have to live in hotels, but the hotels are expensive, or they're living with a friend and it's uncomfortable.
And they give up jobs because they won't, give them that much time off.
And it's crazy because Hikaru basically doesn't have any stakes except being a main character. And it's like, whoa. But of course Hikaru passes. He passes with his best friend Waya, and then with this like snobby kid, Ochi.
God, I hate that kid.
Ochi's okay, but he's as closest to an antagonist you'll get in this series.
If there was any point in Hikaru no Go, I really wanted to just drop the series. It was during the pro exam arc, because it was basically just a bunch of kids freaking the fuck out, and I didn't get to see any of the damn matches.
It doesn't matter about the matches. I told you, it's about the drama.
I don't know why. I can't remember. Like, it was only in the heat of the moment where Hikaru would just cause me so much physical pain because I hated him so much. I don't like Hikaru as a character.
I love Hikaru.
Like, give me any other character that's not Hikaru and Oichi, and I'd rather follow their storyline.
Yeah, I mean, ignore Ochi, but I think Hikaru is a fantastic character. I love the growth, the drama,
That's why
everything.
I like the next arc so much, the Sai versus the Meijin arc, because it wasn't really about Hikaru.
Yeah, okay, so basically, now that Hikaru is a pro, he finally gets his chance to fight Akira Toya. It's been like years in the making. You're gonna be on the edge of your seat. It's gonna be awesome.
I think we gloss over real fast how much Akira is chasing Hikaru in every single arc, and when Akira's not doing the chasing, it's Hikaru.
I never thought about that, but that is true. I mean...
Super gay.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about this real quick. What I also love is amazingly is just like how like Akira has to like figure out, wait, is Hikaru my rival or is he not? I'm not interested, but I am interested. Like, he is on a roller coaster of feeling. I think no matter what, deep in his heart, he knew that Hikaru is his rival. But anyways, back to the Sai versus Meijin arc. So again, Hikaru and Akira were gonna duke it out in some kind of match. I think it's like a Dawn promotion match, and a Dawn is a rank you have in Go. But Akira's father, Toya Meijin, the best Go player in Japan, has had a heart attack. And it's like, oh my god. So Hikaru was like, oh, well, okay, Sai was like, Hikaru, you better visit him because I can't have him dying on me. Hikaru's like, okay.
Now, Toya Meijin, is that his name?
That's his like title name.
Okay. He's important because he's the only other player who's on the track to the divine move. And if you remember, Sai is on this planet to do the divine move. His ghostly spirit will not leave.
Yeah. So, Hikaru visits him. He gets alone with Toya Meijin. And Toya Meijin's like, man, I'm in the hospital for like the next 10 days and that really sucks. And so one of my students said, you should play Go on the internet. I'm like, I don't know. And Hikaru's like, dude, do it. Because I can arrange a match between you and Sai and then you won't be bored. And Toya's like, okay. And Toya Meijin is like, man, you have a lot of confidence in Sai. And Hikaru's like, yeah.
That's my homie.
Sai's gonna win. And Toya's like, okay, well, if he wins, then I'm gonna retire. And Hikaru's like, haha, funny joke, bye. And dude, when I was reading this, I was like going crazy in my mind, like, there's no way he's gonna be like the best player in Japan. Because they've been hyping this guy up for the entire series. Like, he's the best. He's raising the best. Dude's got 4 or 5 titles out of 7. There's 7 major titles in Go, and this dude's got 5 of them.
I mean, I think this is the most hyped up I've been about Hikaru no Go. I think I was like pacing around the hallway being like, is Koya Meijin gonna have a heart attack while fighting Sai because the only way you can reach the divine move is to die?
I know, like the drama, right? And it's like not this stupid family drama. Not like, it's like, okay, cause, you know, Sai can't win, but Hikaru can't tell Sai, don't play your best. And basically, Sai wins. And then, like, people who are watching the game around the world are going crazy, being like, is this the legendary Sai against the best player in Japan? Holy shit. This is also kind of the moment where Sai starts to realize that Hikaru is playing really good Go on his own. Like, before he was playing okay, and then he got pretty good. But compared to Sai, it was like, eh. But when Hikaru looked at the game and said, oh man, if the Meijin just played here, you would have lost Sai. And that's when Sai realizes, shit, Hikaru's good. He's good at this. And so we get to the Side Disappearance Arc, and okay, I want to make this clear right now. During the Side Disappearance, it's my least favorite arc because Sai keeps complaining that he needs to play Go. He's running out of time. He's about to leave, and Hikaru's like, you're not gonna leave. Stop your bitching. And I'm like, yes, Sai, stop your bitching. Because it doesn't have the nuances that the anime had. You know, like when Sai looked at himself and there's like glowing light?
Oh.
There's no effects in the manga. This train of thought just kind of comes out of nowhere. At least it feels like that. And I'm like, the hell, Sai? Shut up. Then when Sai is gone, I'm like, where's Sai? What the fuck? And Hikaru goes crazy. And he's like going everywhere trying to figure out where can he find Sai. I guess we forgot to mention, Hikaru is the second person that Sai has ever inhabited. The first person was Honinbo. Honinbo was known as the greatest Go player about 100 or 2 years ago. And so Hikaru was going to all of Honinbo's, like, his hometown, all the shrines dedicated to him, all the graveyards, and he was like, I can't find Sai. And I think Sai left because I wouldn't let him play towards the end. I think he's mad at me, so I'm gonna stop playing Go. And I was like, no, why? It's a little annoying too, just because I didn't understand why he had to stop playing Go. Then the series takes a left turn, called the Chinese Go Association arc, but I'm like, this is the Izumi arc, because Izumi, who everyone likes, he goes to China to challenge himself to become a better Go player. It started off as a goodwill, but then he was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay in China for a few months to practice my Go game because the people in China are just better, and I need to pass the pro exam. So he does that. He trains really hard, comes back to Japan, and he's like, wait, Hikaru's not playing Go? And Hikaru's like, he's losing by default, you know, he's not attending any games. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna talk to the boy. And Izumi goes, he talks to Hikaru, he's like, what's going on? I was like, you know what, let's play a game because I need to like clean the slate. Because in the pro exam, Izumi made an illegal move. Because once you take your hand off the Go piece, kind of like in chess, you can't move it. But he does. And he puts Hikaru in this awkward state, like, do I tell someone? Do I say something? And Izumi just like quits. And he knows he put Hikaru in a bad position there. So he comes back and he's like, let's just play this one final game so I can at least clean that slate. And so they're playing the game, and Hikaru's like, sometimes Hikaru makes these amazing moves that Sai would make. And again, the build up in this series is awesome because everything that's happening in like these latest series has like been referenced before. Hikaru makes a move that makes him think of Sai, and he's like, oh shit, okay, Sai, he's in the way I play Go. He's here. I can still play Go because this is the only way I can be with Sai. And Izumi's like, I don't know what's going on, but looks like you got over your drama, and then you're gonna keep playing, right? And he's like, yeah. And so the return arc is basically Hikaru coming back, being a pro, and being like, yeah, I'm gonna go all the way, and I'm gonna defeat Akira Toya. So yeah, so that's where the anime basically ends. It basically ends with like Hikaru going on with his his life, and they do this cute, like, what everyone's doing. They didn't do the middle school graduation, which I thought was weird, but whatever. So how do you like the anime to this point?
No, it's a good anime, and they're doing the best that they can with things. And like you said, it's really good foreshadowing because, Hikaru's like, oh, Sai, whenever I play, because I watch so many of your games, whenever I'm in a pickle, I just think, what would you do? And Hikaru never realized that, like, how important that's going to be later on, and that's the only way he can remember Sai is, like, via his playing. And then it really means a lot to him when Akira's like, you remind me a lot about Sai.
Oh my god, so cute.
And then after that conversation, Hikaru goes out and buy a fan because the way Sai would use his fan to point at the board to put down pieces, Hikaru buys the same kind of fan.
Wasn't that insane? I was like, oh my god. It's fantastic. The anime, for some reason, doesn't go over the very last arc, which is like my second favorite arc of this series. They mention it, which pisses me off because they mention it, but they didn't do it. Like as if they planned to do it later and they just didn't. But the Hokuto arc is basically a company decided that they want to host a Go competition. And it's a Go youth competition between Japan, China, and Korea. And so in Japan, they had to compete. Who is the 3 youth that would represent Japan? So Akira Toya was the obvious choice, so I believe he doesn't participate. He gets an automatic pass. But everyone else has to play for it. Technically, Hikaru and Ochi wins the 2 seats. But everyone thought this other kid named Yashiro was better than Ochi. So Ochi said, I'm gonna play Yashiro. And whoever wins this match gets to be part of the team. Because I believe Hikaru beat Yashiro. So Yashiro beat Ochi, so Yashiro ended up being the 3rd member of the Japan Go team. And so they go to a hotel, and they meet the China team, and they meet the Korea team. And the Korea, it's so cute because you get to meet Le Ping again, and Le Ping is a kid that Hikaru fought when he was still in Insei going for the pro exam. And you get to see Yang Hai again, and I thought Yang Hai was just this random dude. I forgot that he's actually a pro player.
Who?
He's the guy who lets Izumi live with him.
Oh, he was a pro player the whole time?
Everyone who lives there is a pro player.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you don't move out unless you get married or you have enough money to move out.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so when we were watching, I was like, oh, that's why he's there.
The kid that looks like Wild was a pro player?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that's like I was saying, like, people in China, like, they're so, like, strict on their Go players that they're, like, recruiting people from a really young age and from, like, far villages.
I don't think they call it villages in China.
Oh, if you're rural, yeah.
Okay, I thought that was a Naruto thing.
Okay, so what I have to explain to you was that, so of course there's this Japan Go Association newspaper, right? They get the daily news. They replaced the main dude with like this novice, and the novice, like, he interviewed the Korean people, but he didn't have a translator at the time because I think he mistaken what day the interview was supposed to be, and he was just like, well, I'm here now, so let's do the interview. And so they got this really crappy translator, and so that news reporter thought that the best Korean player on the youth team said that Hoinbo sucked. And so of course that's an insult to Japan. That's an insult to Hikaru and his mentor Sai. And so Hikaru's like all pissed off. And there's this whole drama, okay? Because it's a round robin again, so everyone fights each other. Japan versus China. Then day 2 is China versus Korea. And then day 3 is Japan versus Korea. And so Japan beats China, and Hikaru's like, I want to beat the best player of Korea because he insulted Hoinbo, saying shit on Sai. But it's like, no, that seat's Akira's. You can't have that seat. Maybe if you beat the Chinese player, it can. And I don't think Hikaru wins against the Chinese player. But the leader of the Japan team, who was Kurata, said, you know what? You have the spirit to do it and the motivation. I'm gonna let you play the best. And then it's like, oh my god, you let him play. And then like, everyone is going crazy wild. They're like, what are you doing? Are you like forfeiting the first match by not having Akira go first? And Kurata's like, no, I'm not. This is what I think is the best strategy to defeat Korea. And it's like, what? And so, in actuality, the Korean player did not say Hoinbo sucked. I think he said something like, Japan sucks and they should learn more from Hoinbo's plays. But nobody ever corrected it. And so Hikaru and the best, and his name is Kyung-ha? And Hikaru loses. And it's so freaking heartbreaking, and he's crying. And it's like, and they're like, why are you so emotional? And then he was like, I'm emotional because playing Go helps me connect with the past. And they're like, well, yeah, that's why we all play Go. It's a little weird, the message, but it's still cute from Hikaru's stance. And that's basically the last arc, the Hokuto Cup arc. And it's so freaking awesome. And this is the first time you get to see Hikaru and Akira on the same team as each other and like helping each other, and it's so cute. They're like, they're such a cute couple.
And like the last chapter is Hikaru losing, correct?
Yeah, he loses to the Korean player.
But, like, there's no other chapters after that?
Nope.
That's a weird ending.
It is. I don't know. Maybe the creator didn't want to show Hikaru winning a great match without Side, but they definitely showed that it's supposed to be like a really good match still. Yeah, this episode is getting a bit long at this point, but again, I really think it's a fantastic, underrated series. If you've seen it, if you read it, definitely leave like a comment on what you think of it. I'd like to know like other people's opinions who've seen this. And we're not talking about the Chinese play. I've never seen it.
And, you know, I get why anime is so great. I get why after the series was made, there was a giant boom in the Go playing population in Japan.
I mean, it happens a lot, right? Haikyuu.
Yuri on Ice.
Yeah. Harry Potter when everybody wanted a pet owl.
God, was that true?
Yeah, I heard a lot of owls went back to the humane societies though.
That's irresponsible.
Yeah, because I don't think an owl's easy to take care of.
No, and they have sharp talons.
So, I think the reason why there's like rumors of crocodiles in the sewers, I think it's because some kind of movie came out.
God.
And people got crocodiles as pet, but then it's like, I can't take care of this. So yeah, but yes, Hikaru no Go is so good, and the art is good. And if you've seen Death Note or Bakuman, you know the art is good. And okay, real last comment, the best thing about reading the manga is going from beginning to end, seeing Hikaru and Ikira from 11 to 15, and really realizing, oh shit, they are actually drawn to look older. Like, the same exact design, but he drew them in ways where it's like, they clearly grew up, which a lot of series can't do.
No, it's all.
So I know, yeah, again, this episode's long because I fucking love this series and I can't stop talking about it. So thanks, guys.
Bye.